Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, in this entry task, we're going to do long division. It says right up on the top, long division with a remainder in the quotient. Let's just have a quick reminder of what the division vocabulary is. The number over here that we're dividing into this big, huge number is called the divisor. The number that is in the inside is the dividend. This is the dividend, the big number in the middle. And then the top is the quotient, which is the answer to the problem. So that's a quick reminder. So what are we doing in this problem? We're going to divide 5 into 4,983. So we're actually going to divide 5 into 4,000. We're going to divide 5 into 900. We're going to divide 5 into 80, and then a 5 into 3. So if you look over here, there's something interesting. You'll see that the first three numbers all are going to end in a 0. So 5 is going to go into those evenly, right? But at the end, 5 doesn't go into 3 evenly. So we're going to have a remainder in the quotient. So our answer is going to have a remainder, and we're going to deal with that at the end. And I'll show you how to do that. And I'll give you some little insight on that whole process. So let's just start with the problem first. We do the same algorithm here as we did in the first problem. So we try and divide 5 into 4. Well, this is the first time that the divisor didn't go into the dividend evenly in that first number. So what do we do with that? Well, we look at this and we say 5 will not go into 4. So we're going to have to go to the second digit, and 5 does go into 49. And we know that it goes in there 9 times from our math facts, because 9 times 5 is 45. So we just multiply that out. Now we're going to have to subtract the 45 from the 49, and we get 4 down here. And you see that 5 doesn't go into 4, so we did that right up above. So now let's bring down the 8, and now we have 5 into 48. Well, we know 5 times 9 is 45. So 9 times 5 is 45. And we're going to have to subtract that out. 5 from 9 is 3, 4 from 4 is 0. So we know that 5 won't go in there 10 times, right? Okay, so now we're going to bring down the 3 and put that here. And now we know 5 times 6 is 30. So that's going to be the highest number. That'll go into 33. Subtract that out, we have 3. So now we have to deal with this remainder. And this is kind of interesting in this problem because, and I'll show you in a second. So what does that mean? That means that 5 goes into 4,983 times 996. We have this remainder of 3. Well, what does that really mean? That means 3/5. We have 3/5 left. Okay, or 3 out of 5. So we could put this as a fraction, right? With a remainder of 3/5, right? In your math classes or your math teachers prior probably said 996 remainder 3. Well, what does that mean? That means 3/5. Okay, so we were doing it right there. So there's several ways to express this particular math term. We could say 996 remainder 3/5, or we could say 996 remainder 3, or we could even put it in a decimal, right? Because 996 and 3/5. Well, if we make that a decimal, right? 5 times 25 equals 100. So if we multiply 5 times 25, we have to multiply the numerator by 25, so we end up with 75. Okay, so we can actually say that this is 996.75, right? Okay, so there's 3 ways to express this particular problem. Okay, now we have the second problem, which is the practice problem, and it's kind of similar to the problem we just did a minute ago. If you look at the right-hand side, I've shown you how we're going to divide this out. We're going to put 4 into 8,000. We're going to put 4 into 200. We're going to put 4 into 40 and 4 into 6. And you'll notice that 4 doesn't go into 6 evenly. So we're going to have a remainder in the quotient again. So I'm going to give you a minute or so to do this problem, and I want you to follow the algorithm just like we do in long division, and then now you know how to deal with that remainder. So let's talk about and look how we're going to express that at the end. So I'm going to give you 1 minute and go. Okay, we're back again, and now we're going to start doing and solving this problem and following the algorithm that we've practiced. As you can see, we have to start with a divisor, which is 4, and we're going to divide that into the dividend, which is 8,246, to get our quotient. So let's start with the divisor. We're going to take the divisor 4 and see if it will go into 8. Well, from our math facts, we know 4 times 2 is 8. So we're going to put this okay, so now we're back again, and we're going to follow the algorithm and do this division problem. Let's look at the divisor 4, and we'll see how it goes into the dividend 8,246. All right, first the 4 let's look at the 4. Does it go into 8? Well, from our math facts, we know that 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 times 4, we'll do the multiplication. It ends up being 8. We have a 0 remainder, so let's bring the 2 down. Okay, now 4 doesn't go into 2, so we're going to put a 0 up here. And now we're going to bring down the 4. Well, we know from our math facts that 4 does go into 24 evenly. 4 goes into 25 times, and 1, so it's 6. So 6 times 4 is 24. We subtract that out. Well, we get a remainder of 0 here. And now let's bring down the 6. Bring down the 6. 4 divided into 6 goes 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4. And we have 2 as a remainder. Well, we have no numbers back up here. We have to look at this. So now 4 goes into 2 0 times. So we're going to have this remainder of 2. Now we could add a 0 here and do the decimal. And we'll talk about that later. But for this problem, we want to just stop right here. We're going to say 2,061 with a remainder of 2. Well, how can we express that? We could also say that's 2,061 and 2/4. Well, from right here, you can see that this is really a half, right? So we could even reduce that right there. So 2,061, and there's a common factor that we can divide out of here, right? And that's 2. And if we do 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2,061 and a half with that little r there, right? Or we know from our common math sense that 1/2 in a decimal point is 0.5, so we could express that as 2,061.5. Okay, how many of you got that problem correct? Raise your hand. Very, very good. All right, that's it. Thank you.